Okay, so for the past couple of weeks, I've done videos on Seattle, the state of Maine, state of North Dakota, as well as New York. And they all have one thing in common. They miss the Canadians, they miss our money, and they miss their friends from the North. Well, I wouldn't really call us friends anymore, but you understand what I mean. But today's video, I'm going to add to my collection of border states crying, and we're going to talk about the state of Vermont, because their liquor industry is feeling the pain. And in this report from, where is it from? NBC or, yeah, NBC. They're not getting much sympathy in the comments, and it looks like the Canadians are starting to really comment when it comes to US media. I think it's a good thing, because we can't let the US media gaslight their viewers into thinking that Canada is the problem. Because unfortunately, there's still idiots in the United States that still believe that the rest of the world is ripping them off. And it's really sad that they have zero critical thinking skills and will just believe whatever the Taco Tuesday guy says. Fucking think for yourself for once, seriously. But in this video, I'm going to show this report from US Distillery, and I want you to kind of carefully look at how this guy tiptoes around on who the actual problem is, or where the actual problem is. And we're also going to hear from a Democratic senator in Vermont, and he said that their tourism industry has dropped by 40%, and 100% of it is Canadians. So I'll get into that a little bit later. But first, I want to thank everybody for supporting me on the other platforms that I'm on as well. The first one is to Buy Me a Coffee, and the second one is Substack. You know what's funny? I was watching Josh's videos, and he used to say that people were giving him crap for saying thank you to his community. Well, I'm getting that too. And if you have a problem with me thanking my community for supporting the work that I do, then you might need to not watch my videos and also learn what gratitude is. Because I do greatly appreciate everyone that's supporting my channel, especially after being demonetized. Because the community has stepped up, and it has humbled me, and I'm going to acknowledge it every single time. So if you don't like it, like I said, maybe my videos are not for you. But to the GTL community, I thank you for your ongoing support. Alright, let's get into the first report out of Vermont.
A new set of tariffs is taking effect today, placing duties of 10 to 12.5% on foreign goods from dozens of countries. It comes after President Donald Trump announced a new 50% tariff on most Canadian goods, which is putting pressure on local industries.
Now, if that 50% tariff does go through, it's going to be even tougher for the United States. But there's still some time for him to tackle. You never know. But for the state of Vermont, 64.4% voted for Harris, and only 32.6% voted for Taco Tuesday. But does that give them a free pass? No, not a chance in hell. 32.6% who voted for Taco Tuesday. That's way too much for me. Because regardless if it's a blue or red state, you guys are all still on the same team. And if you lose a game, you all lose it together. I mean, you can't be on a hockey team, and if some of your players suck and they're not doing anything, and you lose the game, you can't be like, oh, well, I still feel like I won because I did well. I know someone commented that I always use hockey analogies, but come on, I'm Canadian.
One brand feeling the sting is Barr Hill Distillery in Montpelier. They say that their exports to Canada have dropped since President Trump took office. And BC5's Erica Love tells us about the long-term impact to their business.
President Trump's goal to put America first has trickled down to our region, showing up not just in tourism and in food, but also in alcoholic exports. Some Canadian provinces even going so far as to refuse to sell American brands like Barr Hill.
Now, I always have to remember who the audience is for this report. It's not me. I mean, I'm a Canadian. They don't care about what I say. It's going to be the locals in Vermont. And some of these locals in Vermont, they're going to think, oh, well, those Canadians are bad because they took the alcohol off the shelves. But what they forget to report is that us pulling the alcohol off the shelves is a reaction, and we're not the cause of this. The cause of this is the initial tariffs that Diaper Don put on Canada. And if he didn't put the tariffs on Canada when he got into the office, chances are the alcohol would still be on the shelves. Speaking of Diaper Don, I'm going a little bit sidetracked here, but I thought this was pretty funny. I posted this on my Substack page, and I found it from George Conway's Blue Sky page. There's no audio on this, but I think everybody can kind of tell what happened. Yep, that's the look of somebody smelling something really bad at that moment. It's like when you go into a bus or something and someone stepped in dog shit, and you're just wondering, who the fuck stepped in dog shit? Well, it's probably the guy that's wearing the diaper and the one that's sitting in front of you. Anyways, I got sidetracked. Let's get back to it.
It's even more likely that a trade war will impact that. And if they're not going to buy American products, or they know they have stores not selling American products, they have no incentive to place those orders.
Caledonia Spirits, known for their popular Barr Hill products, has seen the immediate effects of Canadian tariffs since the beginning of 2025.
One of the hardest things about this tariff has been planning. So we plan for a year, 2 years out, and when we're seeing a 10% reduction in sales here at the distillery, or we're seeing a reduction in retail, we have to start to plan on ways to get those sales back.
Well, I'm sorry to hear about your planning complications, and it must be a big issue. And it must be keeping you up all night. I mean, it sucks, doesn't it? But what about the Canadian companies that are also having to replan as well? Like any Canadian companies that used to sell to the United States, but without the de minimis exemption, that has drastically cut Canadian and international businesses in terms of who they can sell to. So, to any distillery in the United States that is crying that your alcohol is not on our shelves, is your problem bigger than everyone else's problem, or you just don't care about ours? I'm going to guess you don't even know what the world's problems are right now, caused by your government and your country. But the only priority you have is to get your alcohol back on our shelves. I can feel myself getting a little bit spicy over this one.
Each Canadian province can set its own alcohol retail and distribution rules. According to the White House, all but 2 Canadian provinces and territories have halted the purchase, distribution, or retail of U.S. alcoholic beverages and have not imposed similar restrictions on other countries. Since March of 2025, Canadian imports of U.S. alcoholic beverages decreased by about 81%, or $582 million compared to the year before.
Now, I don't think this is going to change for a while because our BC Premier, or my BC Premier, David Eby, let me show you what he said.
It's actually a bit of a paradox because I can't help but feel prouder to be a Canadian right now, that our integrity is intact as a country, that we know what we stand for, we know who our friends are, and we're willing to stand up for those things. There is not a chance in hell that U.S. alcohol is going back on the shelf in British Columbia. And I'm proud of that, and I know the British Columbians support that. And the idea of the president that he can bully us into whatever he wishes is incorrect. I feel sorry for Americans. If you can't be friends with Canada, then you almost certainly do not have a friend anywhere in the world. And that is a very lonely place to be.
Yep, I think David Eby said everything that we're thinking, and I'm glad he said it. And I'm glad he reaffirmed that the alcohol is not coming back on the shelves in British Columbia. So this 81% down, I have a feeling it's going to be like this for a while.
A long-term extended trade war, as we've all kind of seen, doesn't impact or doesn't, not negatively affect anyone. It affects the Canadian side, it affects the Vermont side. So we're kind of there now of they are out of product. They have customers up there who may want it, but they can't get it. And they really have no incentive to buy it because their retailers are not selling American product.
Now, I think this guy really needs to kind of research on what Canadians actually feel about this, because I get the impression that this guy must think that the Canadians still want the alcohol, but it's the government that's preventing us from getting it. When in fact, a lot of Canadians don't want their alcohol anymore. I mean, this guy should just really look at the comments in the NBC video. It's full of Canadians saying, no, we don't want your shit. Now, I know it's not all Canadians. I mean, we have our own group of Canadians who don't care about anything and just care about themselves. But I'm talking about the Canadians that used to buy their alcohol, that are now refusing to buy it, even if it was on the shelves. But yeah, I get the feeling that this guy thinks that the Canadians still want the alcohol, but it's just the government stopping them. So let me know in the comments below if you agree with me on this or not.
And Barr Hill's General Manager of Hospitality Operations, Patrick Amis, says choices made in Quebec can have a ripple effect across the border.
We had a full shipment prepared to go, and we were unable to make that shipment.
Oh, I got the perfect meme for this one. And this one as well. Sorry, dude. You're not going to get much sympathy north of the border.
To this day, they still haven't placed an order, to make any shipments from Barr Hill at that point. I think we had all hoped for the best, and unfortunately, we just didn't see those things happen.
And those 50% tariffs are set to take effect on August 19th, meaning there's still time for both sides to negotiate, so that could still change.
There's also time for Diaper Dawn to do a taco. So, anything can happen within the next couple of weeks. But one thing I do know, even if he does taco on these latest 50% tariffs, the alcohol is not going back on the shelves at all.
And Manitoba's Wab Canoe said this about lifting an alcohol ban amid failed trade talks.
No Kuzma, no Boozma.
I love that guy. I would love to one day sit down and have a beer with him and just shoot the shit. So to any distillery in the state of Vermont, and if you guys are struggling just like this guy is, well, the only thing I really got to say is talk to your president. Now, I want to show parts of this clip, and CBC interviewed a senator in the state of Vermont. And they talk about the impact that Canadians are making by not going to their state. Oh, and just a heads up, the audio on this one is not really synced up, so it's not your computer or phone, it's the audio from the clip.
Peter Welch is a Democratic senator for Vermont. Sir, thank you for coming on the show. I appreciate it. We mentioned there that 40% drop off in tourism to Vermont. How much of that is directly tied to Canadians not traveling to your state?
Basically 100%. I mean, that's what our main tourism is the Canadians. And it's two things. One, obviously, an enormous economic hit to us on tourism, but we also you're our biggest trading partner by far. That's true for 34 states in the U.S., but we export $600 million to Canada, $2 billion come in from Canada, and that helps us in our own manufacturing. But, there's another part of this that's really heartbreaking for us in Vermont. It's the emotional rupture.
Now, call me jaded or biased, but I'm not sure if I buy that. And I'm pausing here for a reason, just before he talks about all the ski hills and bed and breakfasts that are suffering. But what is their emotional rupture that they're so disappointed about? I don't think it's about the Canadians not physically showing up. I think it's about the Canadians not spending their money. Because a friendship is supposed to be two ways, and it doesn't seem like they're doing much to support Quebec businesses. And Vermont, along with all the other border states, don't seem to be doing much to fight back against their own government. So the emotional rupture that he says that Vermont is having because Canadians are not coming back, I think it's still tied to money. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below if you agree with me.
We have many of our bed and breakfast, our ski areas, they look forward to Canadian families coming back. And many of them would always come on a certain holiday. And there is a lot of joy that the hospitality industry has in having ongoing relationships with Canadian visitors. We get it why you're not coming, but we want you to know we miss you, and we're really upset at what the president's doing to make the wonderful relationship we've had over the decades. It's impaired.
Now, I get that the senator is trying. I mean, he seems like a nice guy. I don't know who he is. But let's put out a scenario. Let's say, for example, Canadians did go to Vermont, and we didn't spend a single dime. And we brought our own lunches and we brought our own drinks from Canada, and we didn't spend a single dime in their state. Would they still appreciate us coming back? Or would they be encouraging us, hey, maybe you should step into this restaurant, or maybe you should check out this event, or maybe spend some money here? That would be a really good test to see if they want us as Canadians coming down, or if it's really just about our money. I don't know. I think that would be hilarious. Maybe after Taco Tuesday's gone, a whole delegation of 200 Canadians, we cross into the border and we just stand around and do nothing. Would they still appreciate us? Or would they encourage us to spend money? I'm going to guess they're going to be like, hey, why are the Canadians here, but they're not spending money? I thought they were back.
I used to live in Quebec, so I'd ski at Jay Peak. I've spent a lot of time in your state. And I wonder, when you look at the damage that's been done with the rhetoric, with the threats, with the tariffs, how quickly do you think, let's say a deal is done and trade peace is arrived at, how confident are you that Canadian tourism will resume as it was before all of this?
It'll take a while because, frankly, I don't think Canadians trust that President Trump has a lot of respect for Canada, and understandably so. So we might get a trade deal, but where there's been this emotional rupture, that takes a lot of time to heal. And now we're going to have a new president at some point, and I think whoever that is, Republican or Democrat, will go back to the wonderful supportive ways that we've been.
Yeah, okay, maybe if a Democratic president was in, but if it was another Republican president, I think we're just going for part two.
But your prime minister did use the right word. It's a rupture. What has happened now is that it's not just an insult directed towards Canada by the president. There's been a real disruption in the relationships, and people have had to make adjustments. So it'll take some time. But what I can say with 100% certainty is that all of us in Vermont, including Governor Scott, we want to have restored as quickly and as warmly as possible our very close business and economic and emotional connection to Canada.
All right, I'm going to end it here. I mean, the interview goes on for a little bit longer, but if you want to watch the rest of it, I'll leave a link in the description below. But I have to think, Are we reaching that point where anything that the United States government says, we don't believe it at all? I mean, I don't know this U.S. Senator. I don't think I've ever done a report on him. I mean, he seems sincere and he seems like he does miss us. But the underlining point of why they actually miss us is always going to be financial. Because all the border states always talk about the friendship and the relationship and like the close knit, whatever they want to call it, for decades. But the friendship is always a one-way thing. I mean, what are they doing to help Canada and our struggling economy because of their president? Not much. But they expect us to go to the United States. Okay, hey, I'm almost done. I don't know what's going on with the co-host. Ever since I started like turning up the sarcasm dial, she's been loud. But oh, I know what it is. It's my food on my desk. That's what she wants. Okay, I gotta close off this video pretty quickly. She's not gonna stop. But what I was saying is that this is not a friendship that we're in with the United States right now. A friendship goes two ways. And the quickest thing I want to like mention right now is my example of the hospital that I've always been saying. I was in a car accident, and geez, now it's thundering. Oh God, it's like freaking chaos over here. Okay, let me finish off this video. So what I was saying is that I was in a car accident a long time ago, and I called friend number 1. I need your help right now. And he pondered about it, called me back half hour later, said, okay, I'll pick you up if you give me gas money to pick you up, and maybe buy lunch on the way back. That's not what a friend does. Friend number 2 I called, I said, hey, I'm in trouble right now, I need your help. Can you come pick me up from the hospital? And the first thing he said, tell me which hospital, and I'll go print out a MapQuest map, and then I'll leave in about 5 minutes. Yeah, that's how long ago it was. He had actually printed out a map to get to the hospital. But my point is, holy crap. But my point is that friend number 2 is a real friend. Friend number 1 has to be able to benefit somehow in order to help you. And unfortunately, that's how I see the United States right now. Friend number 1, they will not help you unless they benefit somehow. Now, like I said, this is just my opinion. I mean, that's how I feel right now, and everybody's entitled to their own opinion. But I'm sure there's at least a couple people watching this video right now that might share the same sentiment, whether you're from Canada or the international community. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Do you have any sympathy for the state of Vermont? Or is it pretty much like you guys are part of the United States, go fix it yourself? I'm in the second part. Closing out this video, I would like to thank Choff from our Discord server for posting up this photo from the peak of Skula Berget in Doxter, Sweden. I know I normally only post up photos from Canada, but this one here that Choff posted up on our Discord server, I love this vantage point, and I'm happy to share it with the community as well. So thanks again, Choff, for posting it in the Discord server. Alright, I really need to get going. This co-host is like just eyeing my food, and I really either gotta eat it or like put it away or something like that. So if you're still watching, I appreciate you watching to the end, and if you found any value on this, and you do want to support my channel, consider checking out my Substack or Buy Me a Coffee page. Thanks everyone, I'll catch you in the next video.